The headlines: the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock has approved 57 applicants under its Cocoa and Coconut Revolving Fund. The Solomon Islands government calls for stronger regional cooperation in addressing urban development challenges. And the Catholic community in Solomon Islands has joined millions around the world in mourning the death of Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Eliza Kukutu. The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock has approved 57 applicants to receive a total of $2.26 million in soft loans under its Cocoa and Coconut Revolving Fund, aiming to boost the country's cocoa and coconut sectors. Sharon now reports.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock has approved 57 applicants under its Cocoa and Coconut Revolving Fund following a detailed review of 636 submissions. The selected recipients will share a total of $2.26 million Solomon dollars in soft loans aimed at supporting cocoa production, copra buying and export and transport services. In an interview with SIBC News Permanent Secretary Dr. Samson Viulu says the approved applicants are existing buyers and traders.
After advertisements, he may go out or call for application, he may go out. Ministry receiving about 636 applicants in total from our 9 provinces. And then from that ministry, he set him out one file secretariat or selection committee within law ministry, where Deputy Secretary Special Duties, Simon Baite, him head him. And okat na do him selection. After the selection, him go through law heads of department more for final endorsement. Before this fella Secretariat Block Cocoa and Coconut Revolving Fund, him submit him go now the list of the 57 recipients, go now law steering committee. This fella steering committee him comprise of deputy secretaries from Ministry Block Commerce, Ministry Block Planning, Ministry Block Finance, representative from DBSI and representative from the Cocoa and Coconut Industry Working Group, plus General Manager Block SEMA and Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock. Hem now okata members Block Steering Committee where he may provide him oversight law Cocoa and Coconut Revolving Fund. Me also like for emphasizing law public that the first 57 recipients where me publish him list law yesterday, Tuesday, 22nd law April 2025. Hemi just the first list or first batch Block Cocoa and Coconut Revolving Fund, yeah. And we expect the second and third batch for him come during this year, depending on how the first 57 recipients perform.
Dr. Viulu says estimated revenue from the 57 approved recipients in total should be around 13 to 15 million Solomon dollars.
57 fala recipients receiving different amounts of funding, yeah. No receiving the same level of funding. But on average, every copra buyers receive around $20,000 to $30,000 each. And then cocoa buyers receive around $35,000 to $50,000 each for cocoa. Block cocoa hem higher than block copra because price block cocoa hem higher than block copra. Me fala also make a little bit calculations lo the number of bags. So for example, if $50,000 now receiving for buying cocoa, imi estimating for buying save buying about 10 to 12 bags of cocoa at an average weight of 80 kilos per bag. Similarly, Mifa do same calculations too for copra. Mifa also do little bit calculation lo revenue and returns in expecting from 57 fala recipients based lo accumulative revenue over depreciation value blo selling receiving and from that amount of $2,260,000 where him small to us where me give him out me expect him 5 months to 6 months return for these buyers and exporters. Him back at him around 13 to 15 million Solomon dollars within the next 5 to 6 months, which is huge. From a minimal of 2 million plus, they're earning that amount collectively as a group.
Meanwhile, MAL Deputy Secretary Special Duties Simon Baate says they hope to start signing the recipient agreement next week. He added the agreement are legally binding and is drafted by the Attorney General's office.
We are expecting the grant agreement ready by today, according to reliable information from the AG chambers. Yeah? So hopefully this week or early next week we will start signing the MOU with the 57 recipients. We are planning for 10 months, or 10 to 12 months. Yeah? It's almost a year, but we have 2 months grace period. Yeah? At the beginning, like after you receive money, there will be a grace period of 2 months. Yeah? Make a third month. At the end of the third month, then you start repaying based on the amount and based on the principal amount that you receiving from MAL, revolving grant. Under the agreement, there is a section where I'm giving him power for MAL for confiscating all the assets below this recipient if him no own up for making repayment.
SIBC News understands 30 recipients will receive funding for cocoa production and operations, 25 recipients are focused on copper buying and export, and 2 recipients are designated for transport services. Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
The Catholic community in Solomon Islands has joined the global church in mourning the death of Pope Francis, who passed away on Monday. Simon Tavake with the details.
The Catholic community in Solomon Islands has joined millions around the world in mourning the death of Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, who passed away on Monday. Catholics across Solomon Islands have expressed heartfelt sorrow, reflecting on the life and legacy of Pope Francis, remembering him as a leader of great humility, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the poor and vulnerable. In a statement yesterday, Archbishop of the Catholic Diocese of Honiara, His Grace Christopher Cardon, OP, described Pope Francis as a shepherd who dedicated his life to saving the marginalized.
He is a man who promotes peace building. He says it's more important to build a bridge than to build a fence. And many people were pleased by the way that he was a very humble and holy, good shepherd, servant leader. I guess that he was really a very, very humble servant leader who in many ways seemed happy being with the poor and the sick and refugees and people in difficult situations than being with the political leaders of the world.
He also announced that a memorial service will be held this Friday at 1 p.m. at the Holy Cross Cathedral.
We will have a big Catholic memorial mass in the cathedral on Friday at 1 o'clock. Everybody is invited. We're the only church in town that has no fence and no walls. We're open to all people. So we hope that people will come to pray and to remember a great man.
Sister Jennifer Seni, DMI, from the Catholic Diocese of Honiara, described Pope Francis as a humble and caring leader who inspired many through his love and kindness.
Reflection blow me today, me reflect about passing the Pope and one for a man of great love and him garden humility as me look him internet of the putum and one for a loving patient as him become one for a leader inside the Catholic Church. Him exercising the leadership role him with him the people.
Pope Francis died on Easter Monday at his residence in the Vatican's Casa Santa Marta. Simon Tavake, SIBC TV.
The Solomon Islands has called for stronger regional cooperation to address the rising challenges of unplanned urban growth. Sharon now reports.
The Solomon Islands government called for stronger regional cooperation in addressing urban development challenges. Minister for National Planning and Development Coordination, Honorable Rexon Ramofafia, made the call in his statement at the 81st session of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific in Bangkok, Thailand. He said unplanned urban expansion has led to various socio-economic and environmental challenges, reinforcing the need for structured and inclusive urban planning.
We face critical challenges in managing urban growth, aging infrastructure, service delivery gap, rising climate-related risks. It is important regional cooperation in Asia-Pacific is more important than ever. Strengthening regional cooperation is essential to fostering sustainable development, enhancing resilience, and maintaining peace and stability. In 2019 census, Solomon Island, 27.6% of population live in urban areas and mostly in our capital. The challenge we face beside the growth seen in urbanization in the past 2 decades is unplanned urbanization, which gives rise to a host of other socio-economic, environmental, and vulnerability challenges. Nevertheless, we recognize that urban development is central to our broader national effort to build sustainability, equity, and resilience. Our National Development Strategy, NDS 2016-2035, lays out the vision for improving and social and economic livelihood of our people. It prioritizes inclusive economic growth, improved service delivery, climate resilient, and sustainable urban and rural development. The NDS is the implementing vehicle for SDG in our national context.
Honorable Ramofafia added Solomon Islands remains committed to progressing the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and acknowledged the ongoing support from DESCAP.
We sincerely thank DESCAP for its direct technical and financial support for the review of Solomon Island Project Planning Manual, the development of the second Solomon Island Voluntary National Review Report against the SDG, the development and finalization of the Solomon Island LDC Smooth Transition Strategy, and we also acknowledge the ESCAP broader support towards climate finance, readiness and resilient training, trade facilitation, and digital trade assessment. We value this continuous partnership with ESCAP in helping Solomon Island transition towards inclusive and sustainable development. We also wish to take this opportunity and to thank our development partners who have contributed towards urban infrastructure development in Solomon Island, especially in Honiara and our provincial centers. We acknowledge our bilateral and our multilateral development partners. We call for greater collaboration effort in trade, infrastructure development, climate change, and disaster response, and digital connectivity.
Sharon Nanau, SIBC TV.
Now, the Solomon Islands government has reaffirmed its commitment to the United Nations 2030 agenda, despite a recent midterm review revealing that the country is off track in meeting several national development and sustainable goals. Minister for National Planning and Development Coordination, Rexon Ramofafia, made the statement during his address at the 81st session of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific in Bangkok, Thailand. The UN 2030 agenda, adopted in 2015, outlines 17 sustainable development goals to guide global efforts towards a more sustainable future.
In line with the Global Report on SDG, our recent midterm review of our NDS revealed that we are off track with respect to NDS objective as well as the SDGs. We remain committed to implementing the 2030 agenda in alignment with our national priorities. In addressing the challenge of urbanization in Solomon Island, the following measures have been undertaken as our priority policies. National Urban Policy 2020 to 2035, With technical support from UN Habitat, UNESCAP, this policy guides sustainable development of urban areas, strengthening planning system, and promote sustainable service delivery. Solomon Island Building Code, the government tabling the bill to the Parliament. Once enacted, this bill legislation will be enhanced building standard to ensure climate resilience and structure safety. Sustainable human development policy. Under the National Development Strategy, the government has prioritized access to basic services and safe shelter as part of the broader goal to improve social and economic livelihood of our people.
The Solomon Islands government is exploring labor mobility opportunities in the Cook Islands with a focus on health sector employment. Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele confirmed the discussions following his return from the Troika meeting in Fiji.
The government is looking at exploring labor mobility opportunities in the Cook Islands. Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele confirmed this to local media when returning from the Troika meeting in Nadi, Fiji last week. Prime Minister Manele and the Cook Island Prime Minister Mark Brown held a bilateral meeting at the sidelines of the meeting, where discussions around labor mobility opportunities for health workers in the country was raised. Manele said they hope to sign an agreement during the Pacific Islands Forum's leaders meeting later this year.
In terms of bilateral meetings, I also took the opportunity to hold 2 bilateral meetings at the margins of Troika meeting as follows. With the Prime Minister of Cook Islands, we had a constructive bilateral discussion with Hon Mark Brown on a range of issues of mutual interest to both countries, including labor mobility. Both countries agreed to keep in close communication on all these issues, including celebrating Cook Island's 60th Constitutional Day. Yes, it's similar. We are looking for opportunities, for example, for our nurses and possibly doctors as well. And the Cook Islands said they will look into that. And once the discussions on that are finalized, we hope to sign off during the forum meeting here in Honiara.
SIBC TV understands a similar arrangement was signed last year between the governments of Solomon Islands and Niue. This interagency understanding for the Niue Solomon Islands labor mobility pilot allows local retired nurses to work in the Niue health sector. 3 retired Solomon Islands nurses are currently employed in Niue under the pilot program. Alfred Pangepitu for SIBC TV.
Now, the Ministry of Education and Human Resources Development has revealed that 35 million Solomon dollars allocated under the recently concluded Education Sector Support Program was left unspent due to delays in fund disbursement caused by an internal audit. Simon Tavake with the details.
While the Education Sector Support Program, ESSP, has come to an end last month, it has around $35 million still left unspent by the Ministry of Education and Human Resources Development, MERD. Speaking during the Parliamentary Public Expenditure Committee hearing yesterday, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Dr. Franco Rodi, explained that the unspent amount was due to an internal audit that caused delays in fund disbursement.
I'd like to acknowledge that donor support mainly DFAT and MFAT. Those are the 2 organizations or governments, Australia and New Zealand, that support me with budget support. Under the education sector support program, which is a 5-year project and or program, and just ended 31st of last month. What happened in last year? There was an internal audit that was conducted by the TA that was identified. That resulted in the hold-up of some of the finances until it was cleared. So the audit was done at the Ministry of Finance level to ascertain, the expenditures for past 4 years, up to last year.
He added that the unspent funds were rolled over for use after the internal audit was completed.
But that didn't hinder us from accessing other funds, so that those were Mipulagarium contractual obligations. We were able to pay them, and so when the whole audit was completed, there were some funds left that we could access, and that was rolled over to this year. So that was the situation. We didn't have much control over it because it was a audit that was done by board under the ESSP program.
SIBC TV understands that the unspent funds were part of the revised budget of around $50 million allocated under the donor budget support, specifically from the ESSP, which is funded by the governments of Australia and New Zealand to support education in the country. I'm Simon Tawake for SIBC TV.
Parliament will resume its meeting tomorrow, April the 24th, 2025. The meeting will begin with a speech from the throne from the Governor-General, Sir David Tivakapu. Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele told local media earlier this month they hope to pass the Special Economic Zone Bill and the Mineral Resources Bill during the April and May meeting. He said government anticipates calling Parliament to sit on 3 occasions this year. Solomon Islands has joined other countries in the world to commemorate World Earth Day. World Earth Day is an annual event marked on the 22nd of April, which demonstrates support for environmental protection. This year's theme, Our Power, Our Planet, calls on the wider population to unite around renewable energy to help triple clean electricity by 2030. Alex Dadamu reports.
With the commemorations of the World Earth Day this year, Oxfam Solomon Islands has joined in the celebrations, recognizing the importance and value of the earth and its resources. As part of its climate justice components, the Earth Day commemorations also provides the opportunity for Oxfam to spread its advocacy on the importance of renewable energy and the Sustainable Development Goal SDG 7. Speaking to SIBC News, Oxfam Indo-Pacific Climate Justice Lead Garrett Quitty emphasized on the importance of commemorating the annual event.
The Earth Day kami also kami align to lo SDG 7 lo clean energy nasem, which is aligned to lo wakam fladwim, as well as I know SDG 13 in terms of climate action, and then SDG 9 on infrastructure resilience. Yeah, so these all work very much aligned together, and they also impacted by climate change. So for us, Earth Day is very important for us to commemorate, to ensure that we must, appreciate him too, and respect him, that the earth itself is the one that absorb everything that he do, yeah, in terms of the development of the work he do, and if we don't, commemorate or appreciate him, what the earth has offered me, then we are going to, actually by me impact him to the earth that we live in. Yeah, in the Pacific, though me no go into like projects in terms of renewable energy, but our work in terms of advocacy and influencing, me advocate for just an energy transition. So me for ensure that those big developed countries who are emitting a lot of gases, the author must also consider it too, other islands like the Pacific Islands, including Solomon Islands. Yeah, so me go in that platform for advocate for just an energy transition.
Solomon Islands launched its energy roadmap, which aims to transition to 100% renewable energy by 2030 for Honiara's electricity grid, and 100% accessibility by 2050, aiming for a zero-emissions future. This transition includes major reforms in the energy sector, focusing on policy, legislation, and regulation to create an enabling environment for independent power producers. Oxfam Indo-Pacific Pakil Project Coordinator Winfred Kisi said they are working with communities to advocate on the importance of renewable energy.
Project mi wakalehem yang wakab directly with team civil society, the Solomon Island Climate Action Network, where consists out of every community-based organization. So through that one, we try and best for advocate, making more awareness, lot of communities me in terms of every sustainable goal development, sustainable development goals, including the SDG 7. So renewable energy, we advocate for them for also assisting mota toksave lota community blimi to for him of a component where we have enough to work together for addressing. And he said that from experience from last year, it was one of the hottest year, 2024 too. And Bridgimna, this is 1.5 Celsius degree where there's a global temperature given out through Paris Agreement, wherefore no go beyond this temperature. So last year in Bridgim, and we're trying our best to work with community-based side law influencing and advocacy for renewable energy for the Garem say inside too. For also Garem push legal actions for defending communities environment blimi for not only me but for future generation blimi.
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
Now, the Environmental and Conservation Division hosted a successful stakeholder consultation workshop on the National Plastic Strategy aimed at addressing plastic waste in Solomon Islands. Alex Dadamu reports.
The Environment and Conservation Division within the Ministry of Environment successfully held a stakeholder consultation workshop on the National Plastic Strategy for Solomon Islands recently. The workshop is part of a project funded by the United States Department of State and implemented by the UN Environment Program. Chief Environment Officer Wendy Betty told SIBC News that the workshop aims to facilitate discussions and receive feedbacks from stakeholders on key areas to address plastic waste in the country.
Aim of this workshop is for providing information, facilitating discussion, and also for receiving feedback from stakeholders. Key areas for Umilo Solomon Islands take actions for addressing plastic waste. Consider the whole life cycle of plastic waste. During the workshop, participants were attending this workshop are representing government ministries and departments, private sectors, NGO and academia, as well as community youth group too, to participate this consultation.
She adds the workshop is the first step towards developing a national plastic strategy and action plan for Solomon Islands.
This workshop aims for kickstarting the work towards developing national plastic strategy and action plan for Solomon Islands. This project we funding for come up with this national plastic strategy and action plan for Solomon Islands and also contribute to goal mandates where under resolution 16 and also resolution in relation to the international plastic treaty where Solomon Islands also part international negotiation committee where have been happen international level.
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
And now the latest in sports with Crofton Utukana.
More than 6,000 people from all walks of life, including children, took part in the Easter fun run at the Losentama Stadium on Easter Monday. The annual event brought together the community in a festive display of health, sport, and togetherness. National long-distance runners were also in spotlight, showcasing their talents in a highly competitive race. Leon Pusua claimed victory in the men's open category, while Diana Matekali took first place in the women's open category. JJ Jr. finished second in the men's race, with Frederick Ola securing third place. In the women's race, Lovelyn Kaba came in second, followed by Julian Susimo in third place. Speaking to SIBC Sports, Pusua noted the race quick pace, crediting national middle distance runner Steven Rahuasi for setting a fast tempo early on.
Sem race sem hem little bit fast. No sem last year, me fa go up sem fast because today Stina leading race hem fast. Hem fast over last year. But me a little bit so twin, but sem me try hard for be best blooming for catch up losti. Ko kasi on top, sem me fa winning lo market. Ose catch up lo de me fa go up. Go as lo house to come down. Ta come down lo hilena stay ose little bit drop. Hem drop lo de ose me fa travel long distance da go sele because hem long middle distance. And now how I'm leading race, I'm bra fast win him last year. Ose competition this time. Ose time lo time minus but time lo me fa I'm fast too but lo ose me fa trial lo 5,000 me fa trial hem me run him 16 minutes 05. Time me cause time lo pattern fine. Ose time lo me is a little bit no good because me come tid lo to va time lo me is slow. This year time lo me fast over mata ya and pass.
Matekali also told the SIBC Sports that she was surprised by the win as she didn't expect to do well after recently recovering from an illness.
Yeah, today me happy me win Easter fun run. Me think that me no doing best because me little bit rest me sick so also me no mean for me by me win this time. But me this come for myself for me run but me also me happy that me winning by the race for me.
Meanwhile, the Governor General of Solomon Islands, David Tivakapu, thanked everyone who came out and took part in the Easter Fun Run. Crofton Otukana, SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.